Hey guys, what's going on? This is Kyle Edwards from the Sports Empire Network, where if you use our promo code SEN, you can save $20 off of your first purchase on SeatGeek. You know that app where you can get get tickets for all kinds of events. So just remember SEN, Sports Empire Network. Use that promo code and get $20 off. But now for the reason for the video. World Cup recap. You already know what time it is. So it was the last day of the group stage. I know, so sad. Seems like the tournament's really just flying by. But we get to finally figure out who the last four teams are going to be that's going to fill out our knockout round bracket of 16 teams, which I'll let you know once we get to these final games, how the bracket looks. So now coming into the day, we had groups G and H, the last two groups. And the first games were from Group H. So we had Uruguay versus Ghana, South Korea, Portugal. And basically the scenarios were, Group H. So Portugal was already in. Spots for the spot 2 through 4, the three teams left, South Korea, Uruguay, and Ghana, could finish any order. The simplest way to put it, South Korea got the win. They would most likely get through because Uruguay would have to win by at least 3 goals in order to jump South Korea for the second spot. That's with both of those teams winning. So, if Portugal beat South Korea, then the Uruguay Ghana winner would have just qualified. So that's where we were going into the day. And now into the games where so remember, third game in each group simultaneously. So we got our first goal in the Portugal game. They got it in the 5th minute, right off the bat. So it's kind of looking like, okay, Portugal is gonna, pretty much give Uruguay and Ghana the chance to just play it out. Winner gets into the group. It was a great goal from Portugal, from wasn't it Horta, and up until that point, after that point, we went about 20 minutes until our next goal. So Uruguay started pressing against Ghana to get a goal because they knew they had to win at least to get in. And Uruguay was one of those teams that I thought, could come out of the group because, they have some talent on that team, but they kind of waited until this game to really show that potential, and that's a dangerous way to play. But they got their first goal from try to pronounce this right. Arrascaeta. Yeah, we'll go with that. He got his first goal in the 26th minute. So Uruguay is now feeling themselves because at that point they're second in the group, looking good. But then literally 1 minute later, South Korea gets their first goal from Guan. So that game's now tied 1-1. And at that point, Uruguay was still in second place because South Korea was just level with Portugal. But now Uruguay knew in the back of their mind that if South Korea were able to get a second goal, they would be out unless, Uruguay really poured it on. So they were pushing for their second goal because they knew that something could happen in the next game. Just go ahead and get the second goal. And they did in the 32nd minute. So 5 minutes after the South Korean goal, Uruguay scores. And it's the same Arrascaeta guy. Gets his second goal of the game. And that goal was a really good one. It was off of a cross. He volleyed it off of like a short hop. And he, kept it low to the ground, right under the goalkeeper and into the net. So it was a really, really good goal. That's tough to do, to volley it and keep the ball down because, sometimes guys try to volley, they kind of lean back a little bit, the ball sails on them and they end up missing the net. But no, he controlled it well and put it into the back of the net. So now Uruguay's really feeling good because they got their second goal. And South Korea went quite a while without getting, with the game's level at 1. It was looking like that game might end 1-1. Uruguay's going to go through with a 2-0 lead over Ghana. Ghana had some chances for sure, but they just weren't able to find the back of the net. It was kind of disappointing from Ghana because Ghana had every chance to beat Uruguay. And based off the way Uruguay played in the first two games, there was a really good chance for Ghana to win this one. But like I said, Uruguay finally played up to their potential. Now, so yeah, Uruguay's feeling good. They actually subbed out Luis Suarez, who's their probably biggest name, biggest star player on the team. And then in extra time, in the 91st minute, Portugal had a free kick. It was blocked. And then Son from South Korea went on the counter, basically took it all the way down to the other box, put in a cross, and Chan got to the end of it, put it in the back of the net. South Korea is now up 2-1. They're losing it. Their fans are going nuts because they now see that Uruguay still hasn't scored. Then I think word got to Uruguay, like put on the board or something, that South Korea was up 2-1. So Uruguay is now freaking out that they need a third goal. They've subbed out their probably most dangerous goal scorer. And ultimately, they don't get a third goal. So South Korea ends up beating Portugal 2-1, which now, at that point, well, actually, South Korea's game ended first. So they were kind of anticipating. They stayed in the stadium. They were watching the board to catch the end of the Uruguay game. And once the game ended 2-0, they realized they were going through. South Korea and their fans lost it. They're crying. Son's crying on the field, takes off his mask, throws it down. And it was a really, really great scene. And, that's World Cup for you. That's what it's all about. And then you switch to Uruguay. They're all crying because they realize that, one, they're not qualifying. Two, they missed out by one goal. And three, they had to be kicking themselves because they didn't play too well the first two games, but played really well this game. If they played this way in their other two games, they probably would have qualified comfortably. So, coming out of Group H, we now know it's Portugal, South Korea. Portugal ended up atop the group with 6 points. South Korea 4, Uruguay also 4. And so here's the thing: Uruguay and South Korea ended up, tied in points of 4. They had same goal differential and all that, but due to a tiebreaker, like the fourth or fifth tiebreaker, South Korea ends up moving on. It might be the fair play one. I think it came. No, goals 4. Sorry. Yeah, because South Korea scored 4 goals. Uruguay only scored 2. So that's why South Korea gets to move on. Even though they had the same goal differential, but South Korea scored more goals, they move on. And then Ghana finishes last in the group. Then we have Group G, where it's Cameroon, Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland. So for this group, basically the scenarios where Brazil's going through no matter what. Brazil is going up against Cameroon, right? Yes, Cameroon, Switzerland, and Serbia. Cameroon couldn't really qualify. The only way they could, they needed, actually Cameroon could qualify. They needed Switzerland to lose or draw against Serbia. And if Serbia ended up winning, Serbia would have to win by like 4 goals. So I don't think they were really factoring that part of the equation in. Switzerland, like I said, just win in, and they were good. So now getting to the games, we have Cameroon, Brazil, which kind of eventful. Brazil thinks that's some people, but Cameroon, they knew it. They went into the game once again simultaneously. So the first goal actually came in the Switzerland-Serbia game. 20th minute, Shaqiri got a goal. So the scoring is now going in that game. So with that, Cameroon knew that they need to start pouring some goals on against Brazil in case that goal held up and Switzerland ended up winning. But 6 minutes later, Serbia ties it. So at that point, Cameroon's feeling pretty good. Because I think at that point, Cameroon would have went through if the two of them had played to a draw. Yes. So Cameroon's like, okay, we just have to beat Brazil. Tough task, but at least we know it's a chance for us to qualify. Then 35th minute, Serbia gets another goal. So Serbia at that point is up 2-1. And Cameroon's really feeling good because they're like, yeah, we might actually be able to do this. But then Switzerland scores in the 44th and 48th minute to make it 3-2. That score holds up. Rest of the game, Switzerland ends up winning 3-2. Cameroon, not sure if they found this out or not because I think with Switzerland winning, they were pretty much gonna be um, sent home anyway. But they scored a goal in the 90th minute with Abu Bakar. Abubakar, that's how you pronounce it. But he scored in the 90th minute. He had this big celebration. He takes off his kit or shirt. He gets a yellow card, but he was already on a yellow card, so he ended up getting a red card for it. And as the announcer said, hey, you're going home. Go home scoring a goal and getting a red card. Not the worst thing. Because ultimately in that group, Cameroon wins 1-0, beats Brazil. Not a bad way to go out beating one of the top teams in the world. But with Switzerland getting the win over Serbia, we get Switzerland and Brazil going through in Group G. Now, there was an instance where Switzerland could have scored another goal. They would have won the group. And I think Switzerland knew that and went for it, but they couldn't get their fourth goal. So they ended up tied with Brazil, but Brazil goes through off a goal differential. And now, looking at the bracket, which is now full, we now have all 16 teams in the round of 16. So let's see here. Let me see. So we know it starts tomorrow, Saturday morning, 10 a.m. We get Netherlands, United States. And I mean, to be honest, does the United States have a chance in that game? Yes. Will it be tough? Also, yes. But the U.S. is the kind of team that could give the Netherlands some problems. Then the next game on Saturday, we get Argentina, Australia. Fully expect Argentina to get through in that one because Argentina is one of the more talented teams that did make it out of the group stage. So I think Argentina moves through in that one. Then, let me see, Sunday, we get England, Senegal. Interesting matchup. Senegal's a team that can put some pressure on an England squad that, some England fans question whether or not they'll be able to maybe score enough. If Senegal might be a bad matchup for them, I think it's going to be a really entertaining game. I think England gets through. I feel like they're too talented to lose to Senegal, but I would not be surprised if Senegal gets that one. Then we get France, Poland. Actually, France, Poland's the first game on Sunday. So France should win that one. Poland, kind of a boring team to watch. I fully expect France to kind of run circles around them and get an easy win there. But World Cup, crazier things have happened. Monday, we've got Japan, Croatia first game. I gotta tell you, I really like this Japanese team. They have energy throughout the game. They're relentless on the attack. They've got guys up front and in the midfield who can put the ball in the back of the net. I think they're going to be tough for Croatia. I actually think Japan probably gets that one. Like I said, I really like Japan in that game, and they've looked really well in the group stage, so I fully expect them to continue that. So I like Japan in that one. Then we've got Brazil, South Korea, second game on Monday. That could be interesting. South Korea is another team that plays really well, and they're coming off the energy of making it out of the group. I think they're going to ride that against Brazil. It's going to be tough, though. I fully expect Brazil to win that one as well. I mean, Brazil's just really talented. Now, we'll have to see this whole Neymar situation. Could Neymar be back for that game? I don't know. But South Korea will make it tough on Brazil, but I think Brazil gets through there. And then the last set of games in the first stage of the knockout, we get Tuesday. So the first game, Spain, Morocco. Morocco's probably the team of the tournament. They've been a big surprise. They ended up winning their group. They're going up against a Spain team that we saw, with that 7-0 win over Costa Rica, look like the most dominant team. But then after that, they kind of struggled towards the end there at the group stage, and they did make it out though, because that's definitely the point of it. But I think Morocco might be able to give them in trouble, but I think Spain gets that one. And then final game would be Portugal, Switzerland. Another interesting game there, but I do think Portugal takes it. So that's our knockout round, and we'll see what happens in those games. But you know, I think the group stage is great. Knockout round should be fun. Definitely some interesting teams that aren't in the knockout stage. I mean, you'll see I didn't name Germany. There's no Belgium. There's no Mexico. There's no Denmark. Um, no Serbia. No, a lot of people like Serbia coming in. No Uruguay. So maybe there's a little bit of a shift internationally in terms of the traditional soccer powers. Maybe some of them might, have to go through a bit of a transition phase. We might see some new teams, especially in this knockout round. We could see some interesting teams advancing, but we'll see. So far, the games have been entertaining. I fully expect the knockout round to be just as entertaining, maybe even a little more entertaining. But yeah, there's your World Cup recap, as well as getting you ready for the knockout round. So hopefully, you enjoyed it. Um, for all of you, checking this out in the U.S., remember, 10 a.m. Saturday morning, U.S. Netherlands. Should really tune in. Should be a really good game. Who knows? Might be a game that goes to penalty kicks. We'll see. But appreciate Sports Empire Network letting me do this video. And hope you guys have a great day. And of course, I'll be back with you probably tomorrow to recap the two games that we had. So have a great one. I'll see you guys later.